Over the past few years, the world of anime and manga has skyrocketed to the forefront of popular culture. What used to be considered a fringe hobby that society as a whole would mostly look down upon is now experiencing a renaissance of high-quality new series, box office smashing theatrical releases, and an influx of new fans who are wholeheartedly embracing otaku culture. But with all of these advances in anime and manga, there's also been an influx of something else, something that's been a part of this industry since the very beginning. Seasonal garbage. For every anime we get with fluid animation, fantastic direction, and beautiful storytelling, there's a series where a generic self-insert protagonist is reborn as a fantasy hero's tampon. And with the winter 2024 anime season coming in at full force, we also have a new roster of trashy ecchi comedies to sift through to see if we can truly find a diamond in the rough. But unfortunately, I delved too greedily and too deep, and in the shadows of winter 2024, I stumbled upon something far more sinister. Gushing over magical girls. I'm gonna break the fourth wall of this video a little bit and tell you that when I originally saw the buzz around this hyper ecchi new anime series, I thought about seeing if I could make a video discussing all of the good qualities I can find in it. How incredibly naive of me to assume that this anime would have any redeeming qualities outside of it being impressive that the people who worked on this show could do so using only one hand. I stole that joke from Reddit, but my point still stands. For those who aren't aware, Gushing Over Magical Girls, or Mahou Shoujo ni Akogarete, is a new ecchi comedy that parodies the magical girl genre, where a girl named Hiragi Utena who loves magical girls stumbles upon a cute mascot character that promises he can turn her into one herself. What he doesn't tell her, though, is that he's actually an evil mascot, and he just turned her into a general of a dark organization called Enormita, and now she has to fight her town's magical girls, Tres Magia, who she dearly loves. Also, her evil magical girl outfit is essentially a reverse bunny suit with star pasties. If you were ever wondering why other fandoms look at anime fans like we're weird, it's this. This is why. So Hiragi's special power she received as becoming a magical girl is a crop that she can slap shit with, and when she does, they become giant BDSM monsters. Giant shibari tentacle flowers, a light bulb electric chamber, an inescapable fox mask blindfold. In all honesty, it's actually quite creative how this series can turn anything mundane into something horny. But the main character, Hiragi, doesn't want to be a general for an evil organization. She wants to be a magical girl that fights for justice. So she tells this creepy little mascot, "No thank you, I'm not interested."
No, fuck off.
So he blackmails her into fighting Tres Magia anyway, saying he'll post pictures of her scantily clad magical girl transformation all over Twitter if she doesn't. Dude, what the fuck is the plot to this shit? So she reluctantly fights her beloved Tres Magia girls, but after restraining them with her weird type powers, she learns that deep down she's actually a massive sadist and has always wanted to ruin the thing she loves the most. By the way, this entire anime is completely uncensored, titties and everything. Which I know a lot of people online are saying is pretty game-changing for the industry, but I distinctly remember staying up late to watch Inuyasha on Adult Swim as a kid, and there were absolutely titties in that too. Rumiko Takahashi has been plastering titties all over her manga since 1978, show some fucking respect. The rest of the anime thus far has essentially been Hiragi finding new and creative ways to apply her freshly awakened fetish as she falls deeper and deeper into her new role as an enemy of magical girls. Now I know I came off a little harsh earlier when I said that this anime is lacking in redeeming qualities, but credit where credit's due, at the very least, it's incredibly creative in concept. And I know the source material has some serious ride or die fans out there as well, so you'll be pleased to hear that I actually find the art style of the manga quite charming and unique. That said, I think the transition from manga to anime has been a little rough for Gushing Over Magical Girls. I find the charm of Akihito Ononaka's art style is somewhat lost in an attempt to play up all of the ecchi scenes. I would have preferred to see the original art style honored a little better, rather than trying to make this the closest possible thing to actual pornography we can watch on High Dive. Also, yes, I'm aware interspecies reviewers and Redo of Healer exist, but actually, interspecies reviewers is a fantastic example of what I'm talking about. It's a hyper ecchi comedy manga that translated well when it was adapted into an anime. It felt like there was more effort put into preserving the charm of the original source material while also playing up these ecchi scenes in all of their degeneracy. I guess what I'm trying to say is, just because something looks like hentai doesn't mean it has to be animated like hentai. But overall, the ecchi comedy genre suffers from an all-encompassing issue that's been around since the very beginning. Once the lewd gimmick is introduced halfway through the first episode, it's essentially copy and paste for the next 11 weeks without doing much to hold your attention as a viewer. That's right, we the viewers must suffer the consumption of mid in order for ecchi comedies to not have to step it up. The plots feel half-baked, the jokes get repetitive, and if you want anime titties, there are dozens of websites out there that'll get you that without having to watch a 22-minute episode. This is why every time there's an outrageous new trashy seasonal anime, you'll see a lot of buzz around it for the first week or so, then it largely falls off after that. There are some exceptions to this ecchi comedy curse of midness like Shimonetta, Panty and Stocking, and Konosuba, but that's because it feels like there's a higher amount of production and care put into these series. They don't just want you to see anime titties, they want you to experience anime titties. And how could I forget my first ever trashy seasonal anime, Jubei-chan the Ninja Girl. I watched that shit 20 years ago, and the only thing I can remember is that one chick wears an eye patch that gives her sword powers, all because, as the anime puts it, she has massive bonbons. She also has to wear a toilet mask at some point for some reason, but I'm certain no amount of context could ever possibly explain what the fuck was going on there. Man, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, gushing over magical girls. And to be fair, gushing over magical girls isn't actually the worst offender of this, because at the very least, it hasn't been boring. Sure, there's not much to the plot outside of jumping from one BDSM scene to the next, and this is certainly not one of those anime you want to be watching on the family TV or computer, but there's at least a sense of, oh god, what the fuck could possibly happen next, that keeps gushing over magical girls, at the very least, somewhat engaging. In all honesty, I'm not the biggest fan of this anime, but I guess it's not entirely devoid of redeeming qualities.
Can't expect God to do all the work.
Nope, never mind.